Good afternoon everyone and welcome to the Council meeting for the 9th of June 2021. And to start our meeting off, could I ask Councillor Ketu to start a care? Thank you. Right?
Yeah. Aye. Kia ora tātou. Ka nui te aroha, kei te mihi ki a tātou. Kei rau te koro wai aroha o te tātou ariki. Tēnei te mihi aroha ki a koe tō tātou rangatira, a Bernie. Tēnei te mihi. Ki nā hapuri, hei mōi a tātou, ki a koutou. Me tō tātou kaitiaki o te rohe nei a tēnā koutou. I te atu e kaharoa, kei te whakamomiti mātou ki a koe e tēnei rā. Nau mai hara mai kai wāngi a tātou. Ki te whakaki tō tātou ngākau, mai I tō te wairu tapu. Nei rā, tō tātou wānanga kōrero e pāne ki tō tātou mahi o te rohe nei. Nei rā e te atua, tēnei te mihi ara ki a koe, tēnā koe, ki a koutou.
Kia ora, Robert, thank you very much. And so, moving to apologies. Just noting that at this stage, Councillor Brannigan is not in attendance. Public participation.
Sorry, Councillor Brannigan had indicated he was just apologies for lateness. He's going to be about 10 minutes late. So
thank you. We don't have any public participation today. Any late items? None. Declarations of interest? Councillor Jennings.
Just consistent with previous declarations, page 33, recommendation 2.8, which just relates to the Horowhenua New Zealand Trust.
So noted. Councillor Isaacs.
In the Sears report, something about cricket and being a board member of HK Cricket. I'd like to excuse myself from that. Thank you.
So noted. Thank you. So we are very fortunate today to have in our presence the members of the Levin Hustle Under-13 baseball team. And I'd like to ask them please to come and join us at the table and have a chat to us. Hendricks, Fletcher, would you like to bring them forward? You're welcome to all come. I think those poor little kids in the back, Hendricks. You're one of them.
Hello, my name is Fletcher. I've been playing baseball since our club started in 2017. I play catcher, pitcher and shortstop. I'm really proud to be part of this team and to have won the Nationals. We all get along really well and have lots of fun together. And I think that's a big reason we have been successful. To be able to play baseball and travel to Nelson for Nationals has been really awesome. We have a great ballpark here in Levin to play at and some great parent helpers to help run this club. This was my third Nationals. In the first year, I got picked up by North Shore because we didn't have enough numbers to make a squad for that Nationals. And now we've had enough to win it.
Cool. So just a. Oh.
Turn Fletcher's off, yeah. So the one on the right again, Fletcher, just that's it. Still won't go. Just use the same one, Hendricks, there. Oh, there it goes.
Worship Mayor, elected members, council officers, everyone else in attention, thank you very much for inviting our club and this extraordinary group of young people who have sort of achieved something that we would never have thought was possible 4 years ago when we started the Live In Hustle Baseball Club with just 12 players, one team. About 6 or 7 of those were all related to each other, which is kind of the thing that happens in communities like ours. But we fast forward a few years, and our sport locally has really has grown immensely to the point where we now deliver between 8 and 10 different programs to young people between 5 and 16. And have a participation of around about 170 throughout those programs, which is a fantastic achievement for people that have really been involved in this club from the start and have joined up since then as well. We've got a fantastic group of young people that play and their whānau that support them and support the club, and businesses within the community as well, and organisations such as HDC that allow us to use Western Park, which is a fantastic facility that we showcase, not just locally but also regionally. We have a number of teams that come from out of town to play at our ballpark, which we've developed over the last couple of years, which has been fantastic, and it's not possible without the support and the approval of HDC. So it's something that we really appreciate as a club, certainly as a club that's really growing and will continue to grow with that type of support as well going forward. I can talk about baseball forever. Those that know me will know that to be very true indeed. But this group of young people have been absolutely fantastic. Everybody contributed to the success that they achieved down in Nelson at Nationals. I guess I can ask a couple of people questions about things, and I'll put them on the spot as well. Fletcher, can you let us know how much we prepared, how much we trained?
We had 3 trainings a week, and then we had our games on the weekends.
Yeah. Eliza, what teams did we play down in Nelson? Where were they from, and sort of how tough were some of the games?
So our first game we played the Auckland champions, the Hamilton Raiders. Good game, extra innings. That was a tough one. Our second game, a bit easier, but it's against another Auckland team. We also played Nelson, the Nelson Heat team. They had a good pitcher on the mound, good team. And in the finals we played a extremely tough team. Managed to get their star pitcher off the mound quite early, which was good. But yeah, we played some hard teams.
Great. I think another thing to really note with this team is that with our 13 and under team this year, we had 9 players that were playing in this team for the first time. So at this level, which is this team plays a regional competition in Wellington, which they also won this last season as well, and which our club has actually won for 3 years in a row. So again, real achievement, and it goes as a real testament of the development that's coming through our club as well. Young people that are starting at 8, 9 years old are now starting to play at this level, and they'll continue to as well. We have an under 16 team also that punch well above their weight. Also with our national tournament, only 2 players had previously played at a national tournament before, one being Fletcher and also Oscar, who both played a couple of years ago in 2019. We had some amazing achievements, some individual achievements as well, with Eliza and Fletcher being selected in the all-tournament team. So that's the best players at the tournament that were selected in the tournament team, as well as we had numerous selections into Wellington Little League teams, so representative teams. So Eliza, Fletcher, Oscar, Breeze, who's sitting behind me here as well, made the Wellington under 12, the Wellington Little League Majors team. Nikora Greening, who unfortunately is not here today, made the Wellington under 14 team. So out of this team, we had 5 players that made rep teams. We had national honours within this team as well, with Eliza and Fletcher being selected for the New Zealand under 12 team, which hopefully there will be they'll get to play at some point this season as well. But a massive achievement by not only those individuals but everybody within this team. And it's a I've said to a couple of people, I just stand on third base and give funny hand signals, and they do the rest. So a lot of hard work has gone in, and these kids here have done an enormous amount of work preparing to do the best that they can. And even if we had not walked away with this trophy here, we would have still been a real success story. And but the team did well enough that on the day they were recognised as being the best team in their grade in the country, which is a massive achievement.
Any councillors wish to comment? Councillor Bishop.
Thank you. I see what you mean. You can talk baseball all afternoon. Sorry to interrupt. Fantastic achievement. Look, my question is, this district has historically been really strong in the softball code, and it's great to see another code establishing. Does that come at the expense of some of that softball fraternity, or are you a standalone club and drawing your numbers from a completely different pool?
So when we started, as I mentioned before, we had 12 players. The majority of those had played softball at some point. We've purposely looked to try and avoid any clashes with sports, with the different programs that we do run. It'd be fair to say, I think in this team, only one person had that dual softball baseball. We've got players that also play cricket. So I mean, we really embrace people playing multiple sports, even through the summer, and we try to accommodate everybody. And I think it's part of our club as well, try to be as inclusive as possible.
So how many of you follow American baseball? So Shohei Ohtani means a name that you recognise and want to follow, no doubt?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. I've been watching him on YouTube too. He's incredible, isn't he? Look, we just want to congratulate you, and we actually reflect in your glory because you bring such great sort of kudos to this area and what you've achieved. And we want to acknowledge that and thank you for doing that. There's probably quite a few people in the baseball fraternity who will probably say where when you tell them that you're Laverne Hustle, but the fact that you have achieved what you have will no doubt put our place on the map a heck of a lot more than it was before, and we thank you for that. Hendrix has mentioned the dedication and the commitment that you've made to get where you were, and it just shows how hard work can make events like this really, really truly sort of memorable in terms, and this is something I've got no doubt that you'll remember for the rest of your life, so well done. Congratulations. To parents, thank you too for the support that you give them. We have had quite a bit to do with Sport Manawatu and other sporting groups over the time, and the fact there is a real challenge around getting young people involved in sport, so we just really want to acknowledge the fact that you are making sure that the kids are involved and participating and doing everything like that. We've also got some challenges around some of our facilities and how we progress that into the future, but things like this will make those decisions a heck of a lot easier when we know that there's people like this coming through. So once again, congratulations. Thank you very much for coming in, and all the best for the future. Cheers. You probably don't want to stay for the rest of the meeting. It might be a bit not quite that exciting for you. Okay, so just moving to the minutes of a number of meetings that have been held. So could I move these minutes be confirmed as a true and correct record? The open and in-committee minutes of the meeting of Council held on Wednesday the 14th of April 2021. Could I have a mover and seconder for those, please? Councillor Bishop, seconded Councillor Kay Simmons. All those in favour? Against? Carried. For the minutes of the extraordinary council meeting held on the 19th of May 2021, that these minutes be confirmed as a true and correct record. Moved Councillor Allen, seconded Councillor Isaacs. All those in favour? And also for the open and in-committee minutes of the 25th, 26th and 27th of May, that these minutes be confirmed as a true and correct record. Moved Councillor Kay Simmons, seconded Councillor Bishop. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you.
So just in regard to the minutes of the meeting held on the 26th of May 2021, as a result of a transaction that occurred last week, I can now take that resolution out of in committee, and we have advised the media around the decision that's been made to repurchase Durham Street.
Do we need a formal resolution? No. Okay.
Just to note that it can be taken out of in committee.
Thank you. So just moving to the proceedings of the Foxton Community Board, could I move receipt of that report? Councillor Allen, seconded Councillor Isaacs. All those in favour? Against? Carried. And welcome, standing up for Chair David, Deputy Chair Trish, if you'd like to give your report, please. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Anzac Day, we had three board members were away at a conference in Gore, so they were unable to attend our local Anzac services. So this is a message particularly from David Roach. He wishes to thank Deputy Mayor Mrs Mason and Melissa Stedman for their tremendous support for the Foxton Civil Service. At our last board meeting, we had Foxton Beach Volunteer Fire Brigade seeking funding from the Endowment Fund. The Fire Brigade had raised $32,000 towards the purchase of a new utility vehicle that can be used to respond to emergencies on the beach and rurally. The total cost of this, inclusive of GST, was nearly $95,000. So with the Fire Brigade being able to claim the GST, the board agreed to recommend that up to $60,000 be donated from the Endowment Fund. As you all know, this was accepted as a late LTP request. The new vehicle has been purchased, it is sign written and can be seen around town they'll be very pleased with their new asset. The community board and the local community are very disappointed in the LTP decision to go with option 2, the basic all year round swimming pool. We feel that this basic plain pool will not be a facility that will attract a lot of visitors. Councillors wanted to know what the board thought about an option 2.1 with more than just the basic no change to pools. And would we help fund the extra spending via recommending that the endowment fund provide some of the money? The Foxton Beach Endowment Fund gave $500,000 towards the build of the existing pool that only lasted 12 years. To ask again for just a basic pool, I am sure would have no traction with the beach residents. So I canvassed the board members, is what is written below, to see what they thought about 2.1. So the summary of the replies was, yes, they were definitely in support of this idea, so long as it is substantially more than option 2. There's a big gap between 2.6 million and 9.4. And also, so long as the board is presented with what exactly option 2 would look like, they would support it. Originally, the board was presented and approved an estimated option of $5.5 million. Somehow this option blew out to that 9.4 that we saw as option 1. That was a surprise to us. But with grants to be applied for and any further fundraising efforts, we look forward to an acceptable compromise. There's been lots of Foxton projects. Surf Club, doing up the Surf Club has been a bigger job than expected. As often with repairs to older buildings, problems surface once walls and floors are taken down and dug up. Extra work needs to be done due to the rust, sewage problems and asbestos. The Foxton Beach Wharf is coming along nicely. I only know this by visually looking at it. I don't have any sort of staff feedback on that. We're all looking forward to its completion. We're planning to do a few public consultations. Now, at timing of writing of this report, which was lunchtime today, the board had till 28th of June to put in their submission to Palmerston North City Council for the wastewater treatment options. We were going to have a drop-in centre on June the 24th. This has now changed. That will not be going ahead. I've only just found this out 10 minutes ago. But we will be meeting tomorrow night as a board to do our submission to the Palmerston North City Council. The CCTV camera in Foxton, the Horowhenua Crime Prevention Trust would like to explore the option of installing CCTV cameras in Foxton Township. The community board is supporting a breakfast meeting in Tans on the 1st of July. FTDA will be hosting the breakfast for their members and the invitees. The Horowhenua Camera Trust will be selling the idea. The idea is to raise as much money from the local business people to have these cameras. So that's a start. So thank you for listening. Are there any questions?
Any questions for Trish? Thank you, Trish. Okay, moving to the proceedings of the Finance, Audit and Risk Committee for the 28th of April. Can I move that these minutes be received? Councillor Allen is seconding that. I'll move. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. Moving to the Mayoral report for April and May, can I move? I'll move that this report be received. Could I have a seconder, please? Deputy Mayor Mason. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Noting that 2.3, and you'll note in number 4 of the report that Councillor Brannigan has seen fit to remove himself from this committee. I would like to move that Councillor Allen be appointed as a member of the Chief Executive Performance Review Committee for the remainder of this triennium. Do I have a seconder for that, please? Councillor Mitchell, any discussion? All those in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. And thank you, Councillor Allen, for agreeing to be part of that committee. Moving to the monitoring report on page 27, Move that this report be received. Could I have a seconder, please? Councillor Bishop, all those in favour? Against, carried. Any items on the monitoring report need attention? Thank you. Moving to the Chief Executive's report. I'll move that this report be received. Could I have a seconder for receipt? Councillor Allen, all those in favour? Against, carried. Just also noting Councillor Brannigan's arrival at the table. Thank you. So we have 3.1, they've been renumbered. That the exemption granted under the provisions of section 7 in brackets 5 of the Local Government Act 2002 to the Manawatu Wanganui Local Authority Shared Services Limited, being MWLAS Limited, from being a council-controlled organisation be confirmed due to the unchanged scope and scale of the organisation. Councillor Jennings is moving. Councillor Allen is seconding. Any discussion or debate? All those in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. 3.2, that the council-controlled organisation exemption be extended to the Shannon Community Development Trust for a further 3 years under Section 7 of the Local Government Act due to the unchanged scope and scale of the trust and existing robust reporting processes. Councillor Allen is moving, seconded Deputy Mayor Mason. Any discussion? All those in favour? Against? Carried, thank you. 3.3, that the Horowhenua District Council endorses or does not endorse the repayment of the Cricket Foundation's loan of $100,000 made to enable the addition of a second level to the LCF Pavilion at Donnelly Park using the Reserve Fund for Financial and Capital Contributions for Parks and Reserves. Councillor Bishop, do you wish to endorse or not endorse? Endorse. Okay, so the motion, Councillor Mitchell, it's been moved by Councillor Bishop to endorse that motion. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Kay Simmons. Okay. So the motion is to endorse the repayment of the loan. Any discussion? Councillor Mitchell.
Yeah, can I just have clarification? Does this mean that we are giving the cricket club $100,000 out of reserve so that they can repay the loan, or are they repaying the loan to us? Can you just clarify? I'm just having trouble quite understanding what it means.
It's actually the former. So it's the ability for them to actually have the loan excused.
So, next question. What effect does that then have on our external loans? Because at the moment it's in reserves, which I guess are used for internal loans to ourselves. And just how we went through the long-term plan budget, minutely trying to keep our percentages down. The extra 100,000, is that going to be an extra 100,000 that we'll have to borrow externally?
No, I don't think it does. So
It would if we didn't have enough money, but you know, 100,000 is not a lot of money in the scheme of things. So it may have an impact, but unlikely.
yeah, the impact would largely be about around the balance sheet. So an outstanding debtor would be reduce the balance sheet side. Sorry, the debtor side.
Any debate or discussion on the motion? I'll put the motion, Councillor Tukaput.
Is this the first time we're doing this type of transfer or transaction, or no, I'm just not recalling?
If I recall, and I'll stand to be corrected by other councillors around the table, I think we did not the same arrangement, but there was a similar component of a write-down of a loan cost with the event centre at the APNI showgrounds. So there was an outstanding loan applied for and granted to the Horowhenua Event Centre Trust, but there was if I recall, a discounted repayment of that loan.
Councillor Bishop.
Just a comment from me as to why I'm supporting it is the fact that here is probably one of the most supported sports, not just on Saturday morning, but now throughout the whole week in the evenings and regionally as well, that have, rather than come to us and kick and scream for hundreds of thousands of dollars to invest in their facility, they have gone and done it. And yes, it's a different approach, but the result for the community has been fantastic. And this is but a small part of the investment that they have made into that sporting precinct, where very recently we were talking about, $80 million worth of investment going into that place. And they have seen fit for their sport to take the lead and get some runs on the board, excuse the pun, very early. And I congratulate them for the effort that they've put in and the impact that they're having on, as we saw this evening, young lives participating in team sport and really showcasing our district as what we have now, the facilities that we can enjoy and present to those incoming travelling teams as to what can be done on a pretty tight budget, but well organised. So good on them.
Here. Any further, Councillor Jennings?
Just a question through you, Mr. Chair, to the Chief Executive. Just looking at the reserve funds in the draft LTP that went out. And so at the moment, the opening balance as at 1 July is forecast at 680,000. And then there's a sense saying deposits for the period of the LTP, 94,000, and then withdrawals for the period of the LTP is 900,000. So is this figure included, that's not already included within those provisions? Okay, thanks.
Put the motion, all those in favour? Against? Carried, thank you. Moving to 3.5, that the Horowhenua District Council authorises the Mayor, Deputy Mayor Mason and Councillor Brannigan to attend the Local Government New Zealand Conference to be held in Blenheim in July 2021, and that the Horowhenua District Council nominates Deputy Mayor Mason and Councillor Brannigan as the alternates to exercise Council's voting rights should the presiding delegate not be in attendance at the 2021 Annual General Meeting of Local Government New Zealand. I'll move. Sorry, I can't move that. Can someone, Councillor Isaacs, seconded Councillor Kay Simmons. Any discussion? Councillor Bishop.
Thank you. Just on the proviso that any direction of voting is actually adhered to at the conference. That'd be nice.
I love it. The intention is that while we don't know what the remits are at this stage, that they will be circulated to members, and there should be an opportunity before the conference for us to meet to discuss and formulate a consensus in terms of remits. But if it's 5-5, I'll be using my discretion. Understood? Any further discussion? All those in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. And 3.6, that as recommended by the Internal Auditor and the Finance, Audit and Risk Committee, Horowhenua District Council formally ratifies the procurement of services through the Horowhenua New Zealand Trust, which includes the whole of life procurement cost of $2,100,000 and the first instalment of $375,000 paid in October 2018. Can I have a mover? Councillor Kay Simmons, a seconder. Councillor Tukapua. Any discussion or debate? All those in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. Now hand to the Chief Executive if he wants to add anything. Okay, so just noting that because the Finance, Audit and Risk Committee meeting wasn't held on the 26th of May because we were in the middle of deliberations, the reports that would have been included in that report are now, for your information, enclosed in this agenda. And that brings us to the end of our formal agenda. Sorry, Councillor.
Can I just ask a question about the reports? Okay. So it talks about the Rosin Road upgrade on 3.4.2, page 42. It talks about how the sealing will be done by sort of late July. And I'm just asking if there's any consideration being given to allowing access along that stretch of road in an unsealed state, particularly with the roadworks at Queen Street East coming up with State Highway 57. There's going to be a lot of traffic needing to be diverted around that way.
Mr. Maguire will answer that question for us.
Oh, sorry.
Through your worship, bit of good news. So we've reworked the program and looking to lay some seal next week, weather dependent. So the project won't be completed, but we'll have the road open to traffic, hopefully next week if the weather holds.
And if it doesn't, because it's supposed to rain next week, what then?
Well, we need several days of drying for the base course to lay the bitumen, so it's a case of just waiting till we get a good run, and we've prepped the subgrade now, so it's ready for seal. We just need some drying.
Sorry, I'm going to.
So it is weather dependent.
Yes, I know it is, but if the weather packs up, because it is June, and it can't be sealed for several weeks, would you then make a decision maybe to open it to vehicular traffic in an unsealed state, especially with the pressure that we're going to have on the roundabout construction at Queen Street East?
We'll take a look at that. You generally don't, but if there's a prolonged period of waiting, then we'll see what we can do.
Councillor Tukapua.
Thank you. The pages 56, 57 item, the jailhouse, cost estimated at 60,000, and then it goes on to say installation, and it's for actually fixing damage and maintenance. But then it goes on to say connecting power and the CCTV system. So are those prices inclusive of the 60k, or is that in addition?
Arthur.
The prices for the jailhouse are inclusive of actually putting it in place at the site. Is that a question?
It doesn't include.
Yeah, all those costs are included in that price.
I guess I just wanted to, for publics, to confirm to the public that that is the set price, because there's another amount floating around, and I just want you to dispel the myth.
Yeah, well, I can only reiterate that the figure we provide in there is for installation of that as well as the repairs.
Anything further? Okay, so could I then move that we move into public excluded, and we are on page 87. Sorry, Councillor Jennings.
Just a question around the proposal to go into public excluded. I understand that we're obviously talking about disposal of some land, and from what I've seen, there is no indication of price or value at this point. And so my question is the basis for moving in committee on the basis of the discussion around the disposal approach, or is it or potential negotiation strategy? Because it seems to me that it's a discussion of options, and once we settle on the option, that's going to be the option that's going to be publicly known. So I'm just trying to understand what prejudice we're trying to avoid.
So through you, Your Worship, my understanding that there may be discussion around price or a price component in the discussion that we're about to go into, but noting also that the outcome of that discussion may very well provide us with an opportunity to actually take that resolution out of in committee and then make it publicly available, and happy to share that with others as needed. Yeah.
Okay, so moving that the public conduct of the part of this meeting would likely to result in the disclosure of information for which good reason for withholding exists under Section 7 of Local Government Official Information Meetings Act 1987. Councillor Brannigan, seconded Deputy Mayor Mason. All those in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. So we'll just take a break for a couple of minutes. Thank you.